All right. So, what is your name?
Yolanda Leiva. I'm a professor of history at UTEP.
All right. My name is Alan Delgado, and now I would just like to make you a few questions about el Museo of la Mujer Obrera, and the first question would be, what is the purpose of your organization?
So right now, Museo Urbano, which I direct, has an exhibit at La Mujer Obrera that talks about their history. So Museo Urbano, we call ourselves a museum of the streets because we don't have a specific location. So we do projects in different parts of South El Paso. So right now we have a space at La Mujer Obrera behind Café Mayapán. And we have an exhibit that's called the Vision and the Legacy of La Mujer Obrera, where we talk about the history of the organization. And we also created a little space to talk about how over the past 30 years, the women of La Mujer Obrera have thought about how to create a better world. So in the history of La Mujer Obrera, we talk about how they were started over 30 years ago by women who were working in the garment factories, how the coming of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, displaced even more jobs, and how the women then were left with no jobs, and the government sent money to El Paso to train them for other jobs, but it wasn't really training them for other jobs. So La Mujer Obrera became an organization not just to advocate for the rights of workers, but it became an organization of the workers. And one of the things that they believe is that if a community has a problem, the solution should come from the community. Instead of having the government come in or an expert come in, who knows better the problem and what you need than you? So it's always about how do we solve our problems.
What do you like most about the organization? What's the most like amazing? Or what's more?
I think the most amazing thing is what I said, this idea of we come up with our own solutions. So it's not just about complaining, this isn't fair or that's not fair, but how do we create something better and what are our ideas? So I love that about the organization, because sometimes people, when they see things that are not fair or that they're unjust, they just get into the mode of complaining. Oh, this horrible thing is happening, or that horrible thing is happening. But they don't go the next step, which is what can we do to change it? And that's what I love about Mujer Obrera, that they go to the next step of how can we change.
What does this organization mean to El Paso?
I think it brings a lot of attention to El Paso as a model for what other communities could do. And it also brings a lot of connections to El Paso. So for example, La Mujer Obrera is part of a women farm workers organization that's national, but they're also part of a Indigenous Women's Network that has women co-ops in 19 different states in Mexico. And they work with the women to create like the artesanía, I don't know how to say it in English, the artesanía, so that the women can stay in their own pueblos, because the women in Mexico are saying, we want the right to stay in our homes. We don't want to have to be forced to migrate in order to survive. So I think it brings to El Paso that attention as a model, but also it brings to El Paso connections across the border and connections throughout the United States.
dulces melodías como tu mirada son las que me hacen pensar en ti, en tu frágil cuerpo de niña cansada, en tus grietas manos de mujer obrera, en tus grietas manos de mujer obrera. Dulces melodías como esa sonrisa